My name is Chris, and welcome to the Camperdan Files. So in today's video, guys, we are finally going to go ahead and replace our blower motor resistor. This should only take us about 5 minutes to replace. And this is only going to be specific to R50 Pathfinders 1996 through 2004. Mainly the R50s that have the manual climate control. If you have the digital climate control, this does not apply to you. So let me show you guys what I've been dealing with. So we're going to go ahead and turn on our fan. This fan speed 1, 2, 3, and no fan speed 4. Like I mentioned, fan speed number 4 has left the chat. So down here, this connector right here is going to be for our blower motor resistor. In fact, we're going to go ahead and unplug that while we're here. And then there's going to be 2 screws, one here and one here. And we're going to go ahead and remove that now. Let me grab a screwdriver. So we're going to loosen this screw. And this screw. Hopefully you guys can see. Very hard to film this repair because everything's hidden up under the dash here. I'm going to pull our blower motor resistor out. There's the slot that it lives in, that little slit right there. And here's the part in question. So this is what it looks like. This just came in from Amazon yesterday. I was actually supposed to do this repair yesterday, but I had some errands to run. Yes, it is a Dorman product. You guys know how I feel about Dorman. But if you were to try and buy this part OEM, it's around $100. And to be quite honest, if the Dorman works, we saved a bunch of money because this thing only cost me a whopping $15. So here's the new resistor. It's in a bubble wrap. Let me take that out so we can compare things side by side because you always want to make sure that the parts match. So let me take this out of the packaging. So now that we have this removed out of the packaging, let me show you guys. So you can see here, this is the OEM unit. Here's the aftermarket Dorman. Turn it around. It has that little, I don't even know what you want to call that little nodule there. Also the same on the OEM unit, just a bit more dirty and dusty, of course. Here's the terminals. As you can see, they're exactly the same. So now, all we're going to do, I'm going to take this guy, slide it up into its home here, just like so. And then we're going to get our screws back in. All right, so I was able to get the screws started by hand here. I'm going to tighten the bottom one first, and then the top one. And again, they don't have to be He-Man tight. You just want it to be snug. We're going to plug our connector back in. There. Nice snap. Oh, you gotta be kidding. So, epic fail, guys. We've tried replacing the blower motor, the blower motor resistor, and neither one of those things changed anything. So we've narrowed things down to the actual control unit itself. What I've learned just from doing some research online by looking at the climate control head unit is that this switch can actually be removed from the rest of the control unit itself. It's its own separate entity. So we're going to go ahead and get everything broken down here. We're going to remove the AC vent, get our trim bezel removed here, and then I'm also going to have to remove my radio. So all this stuff here has to be unplugged. Now, the reason why the radio has to come out is because we need to be able to get this control unit to drop down to where the radio is to make it more accessible to get this switch out. So we're going to go ahead and remove the radio. I'm just going to rest the radio like that because I really don't want to take all of this stuff out. It's just really cumbersome to get it all back in there. So I'm not going to take it all the way out. Hopefully it doesn't impact my shifter boot. Well, before we take the control bezel out, we're going to take the knob off. And yes, it does come off quite easily, mainly because mine has been removed before. Come on. There you go. This is actually going a lot easier than I thought. All right, guys, so this is what we're after here. So here's the switch. You got these two tabs here. You're going to gently lift up on these. You don't want to break them. And then on the bottom of the control unit, that tab right there, and I'll point to it in the video, gently pry that downward also. And once you're able to successfully do that, it'll slide back and out of the control unit. Here's the switch. As you can see, it does slide out just like I described. Now we're going to go ahead and work on getting the power connection disconnected. This is why it stopped working, guys. You see that bubble? That's a burnt terminal. And if you look back here on this wire here, you can see where it's melted. So we might actually need to replace the harness too. I wasn't exactly prepared to do all of that today, but I can always go to the junkyard and grab one. Yeah, so that escalated quickly. You guys see that bubble? Not supposed to be like that. So, needless to say, we're going to have to go and get a new connector because this thing, it's toast. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just not something I was expecting to have to do today, but, you know, it is what it is. All right, guys, so we just made it to the Henderson junkyard. There's two R50s here in this yard that have the manual climate controls. So I'm going to see if I can find a good pigtail off of one of these donors. This is a 1999 to be exact. But someone made off with the control panel itself, but its plug is still here. So we're gonna go ahead and lop this off and we'll take this home and use it to fix our R50. All right, guys, we have our prize. Yeah, so we're gonna go home and try and get this thing wired up, and hopefully have full use of all of our fan speeds. It's in. All right, we're gonna reconnect our battery, and then we're gonna plug our switch in and test it out. So here's our replacement switch. As you guys can see, nothing's been melted on the switch. Everything looks great. So we're gonna plug it in and test it out. Okay, got power. So here's fan speed number 1. Here's fan speed number 2. Here's fan speed number 3. And here's fan speed number 4. Yay! It's fixed, guys. Yeah, guys, it's a wrap. It's fixed. Oh my goodness. I am so happy. Let's go ahead and put this all back together now. Yeah, guys, this has been driving me nuts for the last couple of weeks. And I'm glad that we're finally able to put this issue to rest. Because, man, not being able to utilize all of my fan speeds, that wasn't fun at all. And finding that connector burnt and melted like that was not surprising after I found one looking just like that in the junkyard. So if you have an issue with your blower motor, fan speed not working like it should, again, check the resistor first, check the motor, and then if that does not solve it, look no further than your switch here. I am super duper stoked that this issue has finally been fixed. I'm just gonna slide this switch back in here and put everything back together, and we're done. So I'm gonna slide this in here gently. Come on, switch, get in there. There you go. And it'll lock itself in, because again, you have those 3 plastic tabs that hold the back of the switch in place. So that way it doesn't, back out on you. All right, guys, so we now have everything put back together. I know it's kind of corny to be that hard up over a blower motor fan speed, but That's how it came from the factory, and that's how I want it to work, damn it. I'm just glad that I was able to solve it with some junkyard parts. In this case, a used OEM control switch and a pigtail, and voila. And yeah, I still don't know how that connector got burnt like that. I don't know if it's related to the blower motor or the resistor. Now, we're still using the original blower motor. However, we did swap out the blower motor resistor for a Dorman unit. Please don't judge me. It's what I was able to get my hands on, and it was the cheapest. An OEM blower motor resistor will run you about $100. That's a little too rich for my blood, so I opted for the cheaper replacement. Now, I still have the original blower motor resistor. I didn't throw it away. It still works. However, I don't know if that was linked to that connector getting hot. We're not using a bigger fuse than what's recommended. In fact, I've never had to touch the fuse for this climate control system whatsoever, so it's still the original one. But I'm curious to know what could have caused it to get that hot. If any of you are watching that's ever come across this particular issue, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you were able to trace the source of that heat that caused that wire and that connector to melt like that, because that's definitely not normal. That's not supposed to happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but only time will tell. And again, just for reference, guys, this is what the connector looks like. We had to essentially break it to get it off of the control switch, but this is where it was getting hot right here. You see that black piece of plastic there. And you can see it on the back side here also. It was literally fused to the switch. But I'm glad that it stopped itself before it caused serious issues, because I mean, this could have caused a fire behind my dash, and goodbye R50. And you can see this pin right here too. Looks like it was getting a bit hot also. So I don't know. And again, this happened at the peak of summer, so I don't know if that has something to do with it also. I'm just glad that it's fixed. Thanks again for stopping by the Camperdan Files. And until next time, keep using your Pathfinder as a Pathfinder, on or off the pavement.